Continuing the radio cabinet saga, when I dismantled the set, I took from the speaker baffle board, this piece of plywood here, I peeled off the loudspeaker cloth, fret cloth, because it was absolutely filthy, horribly dirty. I decided it needed to be washed, so I did that. Unfortunately, the washing and the drying of it caused it to shrink somewhat, and it's now not as big as it should be because it should be stretched over the edges of this plywood panel. However, I'm hoping that there's just enough of it, the material, to do the job. Nevertheless, it doesn't look quite as it should now it's being washed. It's affected the finish of it slightly, but I don't think that'll detract from it once it's in. But of course, gluing it back on the panel is hard without being able to stretch it over the edges. So I've rigged up a sort of Heath Robinson clamp and wooden batten there, and I started by gluing one end of it, letting that dry, and then stretching it underneath this batten. And gluing it when I'd got it sort of stretched along, so it's reasonably taut. If that works all right when I release that clamp, I'll glue the edges. I haven't done these side edges yet. On the cabinet front, the coating of satin varnish on the painted sections has dried now, and the finish isn't bad. I'm reasonably pleased with it. It would have been better sprayed, but brush applied, it's acceptable. And so I've now reached a point where we're going to deal with these veneers. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is give the whole thing a good wipe over with white spirit to clean the surface. And that will not only sort of degrease the surface and make it ready to accept the Danish oil, but it'll also give us an idea what the Danish oil finish will look like. Now, there are various grades of Danish oil you can buy. Excuse me just while I just reach the can. And I bought this one. When I say different grades, I mean different colours with different dyes in. Now, this is one designed for antique pine, so it's effectively colourless. So that's a good start point, and I'm anticipating doing the shoulders of the cabinet with that. Now, the centre sections of the cabinet that were in a darker stain originally, I do have some Danish oil in stock that I previously coloured with some dark oak wood stain, and depending on how it looks, I might use that for the central sections, or I might choose to leave them, because actually the veneer is really nice in these centre sections, and it seems a shame to, particularly that panel along the bottom there, it seems a shame to obscure that grain too much by a heavy colour. Anyway, I'm just going to uncork the white spirit. We'll give it a wipe over and see how it looks. So I'll just pause the video for a second. Right, I've got proper white spirit there, a clean lint-free cloth, an old bed sheet. That gives an impression of how the veneers will come up. Let's try a bit on the central section. And this section here. I think the centre sections might benefit from being a bit darker. Doesn't look bad though, does it? That'll be alright. Now let's just have a go at this panel at the bottom and see how that looks. That bottom panel in the middle is by nature darker than the surrounding areas. I think the dark oak Danish oil might be too dark though. That's a lovely piece of veneer there. I like that very much. I haven't dealt with these woodworm holes yet because I've got some special hard wax sticks for filling blemishes in furniture, and they're in a range of different colours, yellows to browns and reddy browns and brown browns and yellow browns. So I'm not going to use those till I've got a final colour from the application of the oil. There. So that gives an impression of how it will start to look, and of course that grill cloth will fill that void there, and we'll have a nice illuminated tuning scale there, so it'll be nice. Good. Well, I shall let that dry now, and then I shall apply the first coat of oil. So watch this space for future exciting instalments in the saga of the radio cabinet and the radio itself.